Well, it is 11 o'clock.
It is.
It is already. Okay. So if everyone's ready, I think we'll get started with the Governance Committee of the Maine Recovery Council meeting. Um, First, we'll start off with introductions, and I'm going to go on my thing from left to right. So first, I'll introduce myself. I'm Paul Vinsel. I'm the chair of the Governance Committee. I'm a physician member of MRC. Grayson?
Hi, my name is Grayson Havens. I'm with the Attorney General's office.
Pat?
My name is Pat Kimball, and I'm the current chair of the Maine Recovery Council.
Brendan?
Hi, Brendan O'Neill with the Maine Attorney General's office.
Chastity?
Cassidy Toole, Executive Director of Maine Recovery Council. And also Betsy doesn't know if she'll make it or not. She's doing some inspections for work.
Okay. Tess?
Hey everyone, I'm Tess Parks, and I was appointed by the Attorney General to represent the recovery community.
Thank you. Maggie?
Hi, everybody. Maggie McLaughlin. I am representing one of the litigating subdivisions and a member of the governance committee.
Great. Thank you. Welcome. Deb?
Hello, everyone. My name is Deb Poulin. I am the clinical director for the Office of Behavioral Health and a member of the MRC with governor's appointment.
Thank you. Elizabeth?
Hi, I am Elizabeth Fortier. I am the coordinator for the Maine Recovery Council.
Great. Welcome. Jamar?
Jamal Williams, appointment from I believe the Senate on behalf of the reentry.
Thank you very much. Looks like you're outside enjoying something.
Yes, yes, that is accurate.
Perfect. Joe?
Good morning, everyone. I'm Joe Everett, the president and CEO at the Opportunity Alliance, a member of the council and the chair of the Grant and Programs Committee. And I'm on vacation, so I'm going to turn my camera off because my Wi-Fi is very shoddy. But if we have to vote, or I'll try to come back when I can. But I'm breaking up, so thank you.
Thanks for coming on during your vacation, Joe. I appreciate that a lot.
Thank you.
I'm sure your family does not. So second thing on the agenda is establish the protocol for election of MRC officers at the annual meeting. So the annual meeting is the first meeting of the year, so that'll be most likely in January. And in order to have elections, we have to elect the chair, vice chair, secretary of the council, and the treasurer. And in order to do that, we have to have nominations the month before. So nominations would have to be in December. Am I getting that right, Pat?
Yes, you are. Yep.
I looked at the bylaws this morning, and the term of the officers is the earliest of these two things. Either the successor to that office is elected by the council, or the effective date of the officer resignation or removal. And it talks about how an officer could be removed by the council. So I thought that was good. What that basically means is as soon as we elect an officer, it changes. One question I have, since Pat and myself and Joe, will our terms in the council will be ending November of next year, 2026. So if we are elected officers, or any of the people who are serving their second term, we would not be able to complete our term as officers of the MRC. Which I thought, so what would have to happen would be that the MRC would have to elect new officers in November of next year. Because our terms would be up. Does that make sense to you, Pat?
So I think if Brendan or Grayson or someone has the bylaws, I think your term technically ends in November, but why do I think, and I could be confused, that you can stay on until your replacement is made? So
I
you
think,
could stay technically.
I think, my belief is that the council term ends, that everyone's terms end at the same time.
Yeah. So it's November, right?
And so, right.
Yeah.
So the council would end and there would be a new council after that.
Oh, I see. So what you would do is for next year, that new council would meet in December. They could elect a temporary chair to have the elections in January.
Right.
Okay.
And Pat, I think that's what you did something seems like a while ago, but that yes, I don't know that it may have been in January, but I think you convened as the temporary chair and then we reelected you.
Yeah.
So, but I think Paul, to your point, like if I would be done with all my roles in like my farewell song will be November,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah. So at that point, the which would consist of, I believe, 10 of us.
Mm-hmm.
I think 10 of us come off the board a year from November.
So it doesn't really
5
matter strategically what we
Yeah.
do, as if we even tried to sort of ensure consistency, right? We still are all going to end in November.
Yeah, it's still, yeah. So I think what would happen is if somebody was terming out in November, you could easily that December meeting when the new members came on, they would just elect a temporary chair to get them through elections for the annual meeting in January.
So that's good. That makes it a little bit
Yeah.
better. And so I think what we'll do is when we at the next MRC meeting, we'll explain that to all the members of the MRC of what would happen. For instance, and I'm just going to put, for instance, if Pat is elected again as the chair, then in December of next year, they would have to elect a temporary chair until the elections at the annual meeting, January 2027.
Chastity's got her hand.
Chastity, yes.
Sorry, this is more actually a Brendan question. So in saying the full council's term ends in November, the people that came on in partial terms, so that means they don't get their 2 full years for their terms.
Right. I think my sort of two issues. One is, as I recall, I think there's a statute that says that vacancy, appointments to fill a vacancy fill out the end of the original appointee's term. And to be fair, I haven't, or to be candid rather, I haven't thought through whether that counts as a full, as a term under the bylaws for that vacancy appointment.
Okay. So I think at our next MRC meeting, we'll discuss this and we'll open it up for people to think about whether they would like to be nominated for an office. And
And Paul, I see Deb's got her hand up.
oh, I apologize. Go ahead, Deb.
No, that's quite all right. I
I
just
thought your
wanted,
hand was just another tree in your background.
oh yeah, good point. I can share for myself that I filled Gordon's vacancy and I expire, well, it's probably not the right, my term expires. I don't expire, I hope. My term expires 11/26. So, and I don't know if I can be reappointed or if I'm done because of Gordon's tenure with the council. So I think it's something that we need to figure out probably for several. I don't know how many people are filling vacancies.
So, and if I think one of the things we need to do is research the wording because you're allowed to serve 2 terms. So in 2 terms are defined, I think, is 2 years. So that's a total of 4. So that's just something that Brendan will probably have to, or someone have to look into how that statute reads. But I was under the understanding that you'd still have another term to serve.
And I
Yeah.
believe that's what Gordon thought, but because I filled a vacancy, am I limited to Gordon's terms or, yeah.
So Deb, I think from my point of view, sort of off the cuff, I don't think Gordon's 2 terms would be attributed to you. But the only question for me is whether your time as a council member, however truncated, counts as 1 term for the purposes of your 2 terms.
I see. Okay.
And it's in terms of whether anybody can be reappointed, if you're not termed out, it's of course up to the appointing authorities.
So if I can just put a note so everybody remembers this November that we all tend term off is also an election year for a new governor, which means there'll be a lot of other, so we may want to make sure we do our homework in getting everybody appointed before, but again, the governor will be there till December though, and the attorney general. We just don't know the lay of the land. And so we want to be able to make sure that the work of the council goes uninterrupted. But we might just keep that in the back of our heads that it is an election year.
Yeah. Betsy, welcome.
Thank you. Sorry I'm late.
Would you like to introduce yourself?
To whom? Betsy Fitzgerald,
To the
representing the
public.
litigating subdivisions.
Okay, great. We're talking about election of officers.
Okay.
And what we'll do is in November meeting, I will let people know, or Pat, you will let people know that we're going to be electing officers in January and we have to have nominations in December. And if anyone has someone in mind they would like to nominate, I would ask them to contact that person and ask if it's okay. And if they would agree to serve if they are elected. And Brendan, would that just talking to someone to ask if they would serve if they were nominated, would that violate FOA? I didn't think so. So, and then we'll have the nominations in December and then the elections of officers in January.
And Paul, I would just point, it's really for, I think, probably chastity's sake, to the provision for the description in the bylaws of the governance committee. The slate of nominees has to be submitted to the council at least 30 days prior to the annual meeting. So that would, in the past, has just been sort of an email to the council members.
So just can I ask two clarifying questions? One is that we're only talking about the officers, right? So
Right.
Pat, the vice president. Okay. Second, Pat, back to your point, and this is more political. Are you saying in terms of the next nominations of the full council that, and I'm putting words a bit in your mouth, that someone should be working with Speaker Facto, the Senate president, like now, like before the elections?
Or at least not necessarily now, but before, so we don't get, we all know that what happens once those elections start, people start, people are leaving and coming and going. But if we have in place particularly the president, Senate, the the governor's nominations, attorney generals, if we have those in place, we won't get somehow scoffed up in the business of, because one way or another, we're going to have a new governor.
Right.
That is absolute certainty, but we
And
don't
a
know
total,
who.
yeah.
So if we do it now, it just makes sense for, again, my concern is there won't be any break in our work
hmm
waiting for Augusta to get organized. And yes,
No,
I'm
that's
saying
great.
that publicly.
That's a good point.
And it's really all of the appointing authorities, including the subdivisions.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we had a hard time with the subdivisions last time, getting them to respond to us. So I just think that we should start that somewhat earlier, just so that we're on the ball.
Brendan, you said that the slate of nominees must be presented to the MRC 30 days prior to the annual meeting. The uh, second Thursday in January is January 8th. The December meeting of the MRC is December 11th. That's 28 days prior. Is that adequate?
I mean, it says 30 days.
I've always hated the idea of 30 days. Because sometimes that would be on a weekend.
Well, the committee with authority to amend the bylaws to change the number of days is this one.
So could we recommend that the bylaws be changed? Oh, then we have to go through this other, but could you change your bylaws to say that the slate of officers will be, the slate of nominees will be presented at the meeting before the annual meeting and not put days in it?
I mean, it occurs to me that that could cause some problems if there isn't, for whatever reason, a meeting, or if the meeting is scheduled, the council could schedule meetings pretty quickly or pretty far apart, or 30 days is at least a date certain.
Could we change the bylaws to state that the nominees are presented to the MRC 28 days?
It's up to the will of this group.
Paul, I just want to say, regardless of when the meeting is, we can send that slate via email, so the
Yes.
30 days isn't an
Right.
issue.
Yeah, but the problem is we're going to do the nominations at the December meeting.
Well, but the voting happens in the January meeting. What is, maybe Paul, could you say what it is you think that would actually happen in the December meeting? What is
I
it that
think-
happens with nominations?
So I would think that at the December meeting, Joe would say, I nominate Pat to be the chair of the MRC. And Pat would say, I accept that. And then Betsy would nominate Maggie to be the chair of the MRC, and Maggie would accept that nomination. And Pat and Maggie would discuss why why they think they should be the chair. And then the MRC members would would let that simmer until January and make a decision at that time.
I see Maggie had her hand up and then Pat.
Yep. Maggie? You're muted.
I'm on mute, sorry. I said I'll lower my hand right now because it's about something earlier, so just come back to me when this one's wrapped.
Okay, Pat?
So in the past, what we did was we asked people to submit their nominations via email.
Oh,
And then we emailed the committee, and then that would be presented at the meeting in December, but they would have received the nominations via the email 30 days
And who would-
prior to the meeting.
who would they email?
They emailed me, but I was chair of the governance committee. So now that you're chair, you will get all those emails.
No.
But I sent out an email to everybody saying, and you can talk about it at the meeting too, please submit your nominations to me
Okay.
by a certain date. And these are the ones you got. And then you could bring them to the December meeting. And then
Okay.
in January we vote. And that's what was done in the past.
Okay, then we can do it that way. We could keep doing it that way. That makes sense. So in November, I will state that, submit it to me, your nominations, but check with the nominee first and send it to me by email. And then I will present the slate of nominees at the December meeting. Okay, very good.
Paul, I'm gonna call on myself before you move on. So as a reminder, the November meeting's not a full meeting. So let's not try and throw a bunch of stuff there and then be disappointed in ourselves. So what I envisioned for this, just to streamline a little bit, quick announcement at the November meeting to send them in. If governance wants to talk about it, to put that slate together at the November governance meeting, they do it. Once you have it, we'll send it out 30 days in advance, and then it can be discussed further at December if they want, voted in January.
That sounds good.
Okay.
And now Maggie.
All right, I wanted to go back and we may not want to assign an action point to this, but it seemed like there was an action point around reaching out to the Senate or the appointing authorities. I wasn't sure if we wanted to give that to someone or if it was live in the ether and do with it what you will.
I
That
would
doesn't
think
have
it's
to be done until a year.
So do you want me to just remove it as an action item in the notes?
Well, it's an action item, but not immediate.
I thought we had to do it this right now because the governor is turning over now.
No, the appointees, there's no one's terms expiring this November. It's the following November that the terms expire.
Okay. All right.
13
Then
months. 13 months.
I will leave it as a broad.
as a
broad action
broad
item.
thing. We'll have to start thinking about that at the beginning of 2026.
Bring it
Just
back up in
as
early
a
next year.
point of clarity for the public listening, when adding to what Maggie just said and what you just said, Pat, committees are not changing in January, correct? It's just the officers.
Well,
Thank you, Joe.
it depends if you have a new chair. It is at the chair appoints committees and the chair appoints.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in theory, Maggie, there could be a new governance committee.
There could be.
Here's mud. I got it.
It
I'll
may,
send out the notes. If I captured it wrong, we can edit it.
it may
So-
make sense for that issue to be revisited after the legislature ends, because I would imagine that while the legislature remains in session, it will be busy with other matters.
Thanks.
Okay. Well, excellent, excellent. Next up on the agenda is the public forum. And boy, this just sneaked up on me. Just this morning, I'm saying, oh my gosh, that's the next MRC meeting. So I looked it up and we do have it planned, or we had, I tried to look in the minutes of the governance committee and I never found a firm date, but everyone seemed to lean to November 14. And is that what we're thinking, that November 14 will be the public forum?
The day of our normal council meeting.
Yeah,
So we technically have the room 11 to 5.
okay.
So our thoughts and what we're putting together with knowing that first hour to set things up, because we'll have to change how we're set up anyways. 12 to 1, just the emergent, if we need votes, the emergent stuff that we have to handle in the absence of a full meeting. And then we'll say 1 to 3 for people to sign up. So that way people don't walk in at 4:30 and think that they can. We'll say 1 to 3 to sign up. And we will stay until people are done in person and via Zoom. The hard part with this also is we could have a ton of people, we could have very few people. So if there is an instance we can't get through everybody, we'll get through the in-persons. If there's a lot in person, we'll do those over Zoom. If we can't get through them, we will offer a Zoom opportunity at the top of the December meeting for people that couldn't get through before the building closed.
How are we, oh, Brendan, go ahead.
Sorry, Chastity, just real quick, could you repeat the date?
The 13th, whatever our normal Thursday meeting is.
The 13th.
Thank you.
November 13th. Okay.
And we're working on a sign up link for Zoom and a flyer to be able to share to get the information out. So hopefully it'll go live at the beginning of the week, but you just got to go through and edit. So if there's like hard things you guys do or don't want in there, let us know and we'll incorporate it. But mostly it's reusing what we've had for information about the rules and setup of the day from the previous years and just restructuring it to fit now and the schedule and the changes.
Chastity, how are we going to manage between the live public comments and the Zoom public comments?
We're gonna alternate.
Alternate, okay.
Yeah.
And will someone be keeping track of when, like, the Zoom people come on to or request public comment, so that so they will go in order, just like the people that sign up public?
But when we send people the link, we'll give them like instructions, like
Okay.
you come on, raise your hand, and Grayson can promote them when
Okay.
it's their turn.
Okay, great. Wonderful. So our actual MRC meeting, part of it will be 12 to 1.
Yes, very minimally. And if we don't use that, then people can start sooner. It'll only be for the stuff we absolutely have to do.
Okay. There's a chance that I won't be able to make it before 12 because of the licensing board meeting. So Pat, if I don't, can you present the talk about the nominations for officers?
Yep,
Okay.
I can do that.
I will try to get there though. Any other questions or comments on the public forum? I'm excited. I always love the public forum. For me, is just always so motivating.
It's energizing. And Chastity's going to do at the public forum a short piece on the work we've done to date and share some of the successes that we've had in the program. So she's going to do a short presentation, an overview for the public of year in review.
Great. Okay. Next up on the agenda is FOA updates. I'm not sure what that entails.
I don't either. And hopefully this will help keep things brief, at least for Joe, if not for everybody. I mentioned that FOA was the law was updated, requiring now boards and commissions such as this council where the council members have to undergo certain formal training regarding FOA, and the council, along with other boards, will have to appoint for yourselves a public information officer, I think it's called. That may not be the right term. And I've asked around internally. Our office represents many boards and commissions that are similarly situated, and there's been some effort in our office to sort of organize a inquiry to the FOA ombudsman for to inquire about potential training that could be made available to all of these many affected boards and commissions. And aside from that, there's also in the back pocket the resource that Betsy had referred me to with the Maine Municipal Association. So nothing imminent, but I've asked to be added to the list of boards and commissions that the FOA ombudsman is taking, is going to communicate with.
Okay. So we'll keep our eyes out for that. But it doesn't sound like anything we need to do right now. Pat?
One of the suggestions I would have is that if I'm right, when we get the education pieces, that we pick a month annually that the board is updated on FOA. And it can be lengthy, it can be short, depending on how many changes. But if we add it to like the list of things that are done at the annual meeting, that, every year at the annual meeting, we will have a short presentation on FOA. That way we know that new and existing members have the information they need, and it's recorded that we were all updated and educated on FOA, but just have a date that we do it every year.
That sounds good. Okay. That's all that we have on the agenda for today, unless we have and if anyone has anything else they'd like to discuss. Maggie, you've been taking notes? Thank you so much. I appreciate it very much. Well, we will adjourn this meeting, and I look forward to seeing all of you on November 13th.
Thanks, everyone. Have a good
Thank you.
weekend. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, y'all.